Man, another guy who can't live without gambling is mentioned in your book. However, I'm assuming it went to your editor before the story became public, Phil Mickelson, who's a friend of yours. What do you think is Shipnuck in this book that's coming out with Phil?
Well, okay. So I've known Phil forever. I like him so much. He's such good company. He's interesting. He's a great quote. Now, Phil always tries to be about 23% more clever than he needs to be. Like, I'll give you an example. One time I see him at the Masters. I'm like, well, what do you think? He goes, I got it. He says, I'm not carrying a 5-iron this week. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, Bones and I went through all the yardage books and we realized we don't hit 5-iron hardly ever. So I'm not carrying a 5-iron, which allows me to put in an extra 3-wood or whatever that he double hook faced or something. And so I feel like I got him at a real advantage. So Thursday he shot 78 and I go up to Bones. I'm like, bet you needed that 5-iron. He goes, all day long. So Phil, though, when he's off the record, throws around a lot of motherfucks and this and that. And he's kind of dirty. He's just like a guy, right?
Yeah.
But he thinks he's off the record. So you're like, Phil, I got to have on the record stuff. I'm using this shit. So say it again. And then he says it again in a corporate way. And he takes out the dirty stuff and he makes it more sane. So when I read those quotes about, these motherfucking Saudis and they killed journalists, but they're not as bad as the PGA Tour, whatever stupid thing he said. I'm like, oh shit, he thought he was off the record. Which came out and said, those were off the record. Shipnuck says, no, he called me. They were on the record. I don't know what happened. Shipnuck's a hell of a reporter, but Phil's a hell of a guy who knows how to handle his career. And so now he's out. I mean, he's been out since January. It's unbelievable to me that this is such a controversy when Tiger, Norman, all those guys used to go to Saudi Arabia and take that $3 million guarantee. That was always part of the deal. When you got that big, you could go there. Dustin Johnson. Now, all of a sudden, we're so upset about the Saudis.
Was there anybody else that was huge, like Jordan and those guys that you love to cover day in and day out?
Just to explain about Tiger. So this book is pretty much a Valentine to golf. But in the middle, I do one 2-page section about all the stuff that pisses me off. Yes, Tiger's the greatest golfer I've ever seen. I love his game. I do anything to have his game. I just don't like the man. He doesn't tip people. He doesn't sign. Every joke is just some dirty, awful joke. He gets up after the dinner, and when he has dinner and then leaves. He doesn't eat dessert, so he doesn't pay. So he's just not he didn't go to any kind of charm school. Compare that to Phil, who always tips with hundreds and not just one. Like, he'll come to my club and carry his own bag and have a caddy come along to help him with reads and stuff and give the guy $800. The guy didn't even have to carry the bag.